And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six in our Dondorian city. In the last one, we did break 8k in population, and for a short period of time, we were at 100% loyalty. So we picked up the title of Astra, which requires you to be 8,000 population and have 100% loyalty and submission. We've since dropped below 100% loyalty, so that's something we want to be working on as we go forward. Title-wise, that also got us the Great, which is a title that we didn't have previously. There's a couple other titles in here we might try to strive for. For example, if we could pick up the Undefeated before the run ends here, that would be a nice one to potentially pick up, because we're pretty close to it. Out here on the campaign map, we'll let time flow a little again. We're on the attack, trying to go lay siege, or trying to retake the city that's been taken from us. Sadly, we'll have to siege the garrison out. I don't want to take the casualties that would be associated with trying to break by storm a city. Just because we think they still have an army hidden somewhere out in the Badlands that could come show up at some point. How much do I need these resources? Yeah, I can do without the jewelry and the meat. So, as part of sort of emergency fortifications, we're gonna remove the pastures and the mine here. Use that workforce to add a garrison and some walls as some fortification here, in the hopes that will delay the enemy. And then back here on the main city map, we're still working on more retirement facilities, so more people can retire. Working on building the embassy so we can try to proactively negotiate our way out of conflict instead of having to solve it with sword. And then Twitch chat's asking, let's see the city. So we started the city. I'll run the speed a little bit slow while we're doing this. We started the city over here, so you can see this is where the original throne is, where we started the city. One of the resources I noticed right away that I want to take advantage of is up here in the north. We have a large... I think this is the coal mine. We got a coal mine, an ore mine. Technically we have another coal mine here if I needed it. And then down here we have another ore mine. So I decided with the coal and the ore being right next to each other that it would be interesting to try to do early metal and tools. So we sort of built basic food production. We're going to wait to do the siege. Built basic food production and lumber, because most of our trees is in here and on this island over here. So we sort of built the city here initially with pastures and stuff. And then our first main expansion was to come up here and get coal and ore to do metal smelting, which is down here. That's amazing. Metal smelting and smithing that metal into tools. So one of our early major exports was tools, and to be fair, I think we're still exporting a decent amount. I think we're still exporting something like 100 a day. And then obviously, for most of the city expansions in this game, you want to focus on trying to get a bunch of services started. So at this point, we're basically fulfilling all the services, but services need things like cut stone, furniture, and pottery. So this area already with just the metalworking and the masonry, as you can see when the masons are in here, it was getting a bit crowded. So I set up another sort of district over here originally, both to do well, actually mostly to do research. So we sort of set up a human district over here with the intention of doing before we redesigned it. These weren't the original libraries. I think they were in housing block sections to do research. So laboratories and libraries think the laboratories, the first and second laboratories are originals. I don't think we redesigned the laboratories. So 1 and 2 are the old 2 laboratories. And then at some point we replaced all the libraries with these massive 100 people laboratories, or 100 people libraries. We've got 600 librarians working to provide the nation's innovation, or provide the nation's knowledge. Let's see if I try not to get confused. And we have 5 of the 75 ones for the laboratories providing the nation's innovation. And then food-wise, one of the weaknesses of the Dondorians is that they're not actually all that good at making food. They're not terrible at making fish. So we sort of started off mostly doing fishing. With, okay, technically the onyx pastures are here for fiber production, but they do produce a little bit of meat. And then once we grew the city to a certain size, I brought Amivians in to do fishing. So we're trying to make the Amivians, because they're specialized in fishing, to work the fisheries. We got humans, who specialize in laboratories, libraries, and administration, to come in and do laboratories and administration. Eventually we brought Crotonians in, and this is part of the reason why the Crotonians are probably the smallest population, to work the breweries. So we got 240 breweries, and so we got them working the breweries. What other races are the Dons fond of? So the Dondorians are probably the most egalitarian of the races. They're reasonably fond of everyone. So this is the Dondorians' preferences. So they like the Cantors, but the Cantors are the ancient giants. They're hard to get into your city. They like the Crotonians, like the humans. They like the Amivians. They're a little unhappy about the Talapi, but they wouldn't necessarily mind the Talapi too much. We even brought the Talapi in because the Talapi is mostly pasture focused and orchards, trees and stuff. So I suppose I could technically bring them in to do logging if we wanted to do more logging. The reason we haven't brought the Talapi in is actually the other way around. The Talapi don't like anyone. The Talapi are kind of wood elf, dark elf mergers in this game. So they like to sort of enslave people. The Dondorians don't like to enslave people, so that the Dondorians don't mind the Talapi, but the Talapi kind of mind not being the rulers in the nation, because they like to enslave people. So we don't have Talapi in the city for that reason. The Amivians are actually a bit grumpy. We're bringing them in because they specialize in fishing. That's probably one of the reasons why they're not super large in the city. We're basically just bringing them in for their fishing expertise. They also like warm biomes. The Dondorians like cold. We have Crotonians in the city. The Crotonians don't mind the Dondorians. They actually don't like the humans very much, so that's part of the reason we've tried to keep their neighborhoods separate. And to a certain limited extent, why we try to keep the Amivians away from the humans and the Crotonians as well. So the Amivians want to work in the fisheries. The humans want to stay away from everyone who's not Dondorian. The Crotonians want to stay away from everyone who's not Dondorian. And actually, the humans are pretty friendly as well. They like pretty much everyone except for the Talapi. Something about the Dark Elves do not make people happy. The Talapi also are cannibals, so maybe the humans don't appreciate the cannibalism. But yeah, so the humans, you can put humans with other people, but other people don't necessarily like humans, so you tend to keep them away. So we've basically been doing Dondorian focused majority for the city because they can go everywhere and generally not get murdered or mobbed by anyone. Probably taking the odd casualty from the Amivians being a bit grumpy. Yeah, we're taking the odd murder, one murder a day from the Amivians not liking Dondorians, but the Dondorians at least aren't murdering people. And there's a lot more Dondorians; they'd be a lot more aggressive at murdering people, based on the number. Oh, and let me. One big neighborhood we left over haven't discussed. The Dondorians really like Sithalon. Do we have a description for Sithalon here that I can find easily? A very rare ore, it has no practical use as far as known, yet it's highly coveted by the Dondorians who like to hoard it in their caverns. It does have a use, it's used in the Arthurian temples as well, so we've got a Grand Arthurian temple here. That uses quite a bit of Scythian. But yeah, so we built this neighborhood in the mountain here so the Dondorians can mine their Scythian. Yeah, the Emivians every once in a while start fights, and sometimes we're basically having drunken fights with the fishermen, the lizardmen in the fishing fields. That's one reason why you probably don't actually, as a beginner, want to do a multicultural city like this, where you've got four or more cultures, because inevitably you're going to get into a situation where, to keep them from hurting each other, you need to keep them segregated. The Dondorians won't hurt people, well, except for the Garmithian Argonash. But the Emivians will probably hurt everyone. Although if you keep them by themselves, they won't do that too much. Humans won't hurt most people. The Cretonians will sometimes pick on the human sort of thing. But if you can handle them, even the score, the crime can't go unpunished. Yeah, we're actually struggling a little with crime dealing. I probably need another court. Apparently I need more stocks. I have no empty dungeon space. We haven't quite filled up all the stockades, but the stockades are getting pretty close to full. At some point, I do need to take a look at expanding the criminal justice system. Another court or two wouldn't be a bad idea. Back on the map, how goes the siege? So they got a garrison of 100 before we got it under siege. It's only being besieged for a day. Okay. But yeah, usually the way you, the alternative you can do, instead of trying to do segregation where you keep the groups that don't like each other apart from each other, if you want to run multicultural, is to do the other extreme, which is groups that are enslaved aren't the target for sort of racial fighting. So you can do sort of the Talopi method, where you just have the Talopis rule a nation, the Garmithis rule a nation, and then you enslave the others. Okay. And a family more interrupting. Yeah, you can get someone like the Argonash or the Garmithian. They're telling me I am beaten. I'm not beaten yet, so I'm gonna say no to that. I'd take a white peace, but we're not going to give them stuff. If I can help it. And yeah, my embassy is not complete yet, so we can't do diplomacy. Well, we can do diplomacy. We can't send envoys yet. Oh, I have a corpse problem in the city. Where is my corpse problem? Interesting. Maybe on the islands. I would track that being black and not red. That's maybe not it. I'm just having transit problems? I might just be having transit problems. Graveyards do have some vacancies. What about the crypts? Well, what the newest crypt has some vacancies. so there's their weakened army on the way back. Okay. I think that's still probably more than we can fight, but we'll see how well they handle the siege. Don't storm out. No, that's not great. Did that give me an autosave? I can always load the one for 1.1 minutes ago. Let's do that. So hoping to get them to lay siege for a little bit longer than that, hopefully. The last thing we set up was the graveyard. Okay, so we're just waiting for things to happen. They're gonna march in the city. And yeah, the 50 garrison's probably not going to be able to fight them by themselves. Okay. I'm not going to command them, because 50 versus that number is just not going to win. Auto-resolve. The 49, 50 men actually cause 400 casualties if we don't fall back, so we'll just auto-resolve. And of course the city does fall in that case. Okay, so fallback versus auto-resolve didn't change anything significant. And the question is, so they're going to come rolling down to fight us down here. If they do, we're going to have a problem. Because we're outnumbered 4 to 1. Rest home's almost complete. The embassy is complete. Haven't gained enough emissary points. Whoops. Okay, so we can do what we can to try to flatter them, prove their opinion, hopefully to reduce their desire for continued conflict. I suppose in the meantime we should start fortifying the next fallback point. Oh, don't have the workforce for that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to siege the city down in time. Oh, they're going over there to siege that place. Okay, that works for me. Weird route to go for that direction, but that works reasonably well for me. Okay, the rest home is done, so we're going to retire another 80 Dondorians. Okay, that's another 30 that should be, another 80 that should be retired. Okay, the first army has partially recovered. Looks like it's trying to march through our army, which is probably fine. Oh, and they get defeated by running into our army, that's acceptable. Okay, effort to improve health. That's the mobile army again, being defeated. Haven't sieged the city down enough. Effort to get health improved a little bit. I'm going to distribute a little bit of food. We're going to go up to 1.5 on the group, so you want to try to grow a bit. Oh, the next rest home is done for the Dondorians. Yeah, it's probably actually more than needed, but that should be fine. Seven defenders still hold the city. And then, do we have some more espionage or embassy points to use? We're up to 8. Yeah, let's try and use those. To be fair, this might be one of the situations where the level of flattery that I do may just be insufficient to negotiate an effective peace, but we'll see. Almost there. They've got only one defender left before the siege is over. Oh, that rest home's done. Looks like we can fit another 60 retired people. Yeah, it's probably fine, and then we want to keep building rest homes. And the auto. Scepter down. See if we can get the loyalty up again. Okay, siege is over. Gonna occupy the place. Take it back. And the place is pretty heavily damaged after being taken and lost. Yeah, don't make enough workforce that can fortify the location. I'm not getting it up another level than that, but that's what we can do. Target's 107. That's pretty terrible. Brings the target up to 155. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty useless for the near term, due to them sacking it when they took it. Do I go after you, or do I go after the one we just we lost? 114 there versus 176. Up to 176, I think. The siege complete. Raider approaches. A band of raiders on your border sent you a message. Messenger. The leader, Genocide Skullspine, or something equally on the nose, has some business with Kolf, fourth ruler of Versilin. They want you to mediate between them. List of familiar demands and the usually thinly veiled threats. Obviously cut the loot for your help. It just leaves the business of crafting a letter. Alternatively, you could refuse, give cause for them to attack us, in which case they would be grateful for our assistance. Okay, so we're gonna pause. We're gonna see which raider this is. Genocide Skulkenspike. Okay. I guess it's not one of these, or I'm just missing him. Genocide Henry, that's probably not the one I'm thinking of. Trying to figure out if we know how big they'll be. Henry Uthon. Even say. Genocide, Skull and Spike. So I have no idea how strong they are. This is an event spawned army, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be too large. Wait. Oh, that's the name. Because Glorblock the Despoiler. Let me find Glorblock. See if he's on the list. Two-Face. Well, that might be the same problem. Might just be an event spawned one. Might not be in the list. This is the list of all the ones that can tank you, of course. Normally. Okay, I think I'm going to say no. Just because I don't need to piss off the neighbors. One of the neighbors likes us better, and then presumably our city will get attacked. But not knowing how strong the attack was, I don't know whether it was a great idea or a terrible idea. Scouts report 600 soldiers. Okay, that was a terrible idea. Well, this will come down to how well equipped they are, I think. Realistically, Rangers tend to be fairly well equipped. No, that's not too bad. Level 2 equipment. Biggest thing is that a bunch of them are mounted. Oh, and they have a siege weapon. That's not good. What are you doing? Run the guy in the back, and your your decision is to actually go charge straight at me. That's not what I want, guys. Yep, we've already had a formation break. Yeah, the best I'm gonna get is maybe destroy the siege weapons. There goes another one of units breaking. There goes another one of units breaking. We get the siege weapon to break. There we go. Yep. I don't think there's any way we're winning that fight. I suppose I could go load the autosave and take the other option on the decision. We might do that if they do a significant amount of damage to the city. So this is how the AI sort of responds to spawning on a mountain edge. Okay, this is going to come down to basically how much damage they're going to cause on the run to the administrative center. Because there isn't anything stopping them, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to cause a bunch of damage on the way. Of course, they go burn the temple down. Take a detour through the temple, as they can. And a rest home, straight through the middle of a rest home. It didn't do too much time with the temple, so we should be able to run the temple easily. So, they take a bunch of the treasury, they take half of our warehouse stock, which is pretty terrible. Let's see how many rooms they broke. So I think they broke a farm. Oh, no, they broke 2 farms. And there's mostly exterior components of the buildings that they broke. Okay. It should be mostly easy to repair. farm. Actually break the houses? No. Broke poles, of course. Okay. Okay, back on the campaign map. Siege is still ongoing. We don't know where their army went off to. The siege of that location is still ongoing, so we can suspect they're probably over there. Oh, and they were the raiders we refused the demand for, or the raider target they refused the demand for, so we actually made them happier that way. War is still war. Yeah. Artillery should be trending up. Just wanted peace. They want 1.4, 1.5 million for a white piece. This is not what we want to give them. So yeah, we got the army, well, we got the garrison slowly turning back up again. Okay, population was covered to 5,500. Let's set the limit a little bit higher than that. So you can keep having migration. Replenish the city. When those restaurants are done, we'll do more retirement. How many are up to? I'm up to 11. One for the Mivians. We have 10 for the Dondorians is the current plan. Should be able to accept up to 80 retired people, 800 retired people. And so those two are done, we'll be up to 960. So we're getting close to full retirement for them. I just want to move on to giving the retirees to other groups. And we'll be back on to try to increase food supply, probably. City has yet to recover. Fair enough. Siege is still ongoing. That's their original army going out to lay siege to location again. Do we stop them? Do I complete sieging where I'm sieging? Yeah, I think we try to stop them. We're not gonna catch them. Oh, no, but... Touch. Wait, oh, because we crossed the border into... Let me load the autosave, because that's... weird stuff with the garrisons. And it's our guys taking a weird traffic path, which is not what we wanted. Wait until that army shows up again. Oh, and that's actually the remainder of that army. So they won the war that we're fighting over there and are coming back around. Yeah. What happened there is we ended up in a fight with the garrison here. This is a garrison that's larger than we can fight. I might technically be able to get the forces up to it if we bring in conscript more of the regional population. But that's also their capital. That's probably the last place we'd attack. We really want to take their empire from them and hem them in on that location, rather than making that the first place we take. And to be fair, I'm not 100% sure we're even going to be able to beat this army in this deployment here. So, I'm not sure I'm going to take that army on, taking on the garrison of almost 3,000 that's poor showing. Poor result, let's just say. There we go. So that's the army fight we want. We have to command this if we have any hope of winning. Our resolve is pretty brutal in this game for the defender. Oh yeah, we can see all their artillery in the back there. Yeah, I think we're actually going to keep a loose formation to start. And probably actually stay pretty far back. I think that army only outnumbers us by 500. It's a big army. Equipped with ranged weapons. Oh yeah, this is not going to go well. I don't think we're going to win this fight. Maybe anemic after all its campaigning, but it's still a large army. Got the enemy showing off that they're actually faster than us, I think. Are we far enough that the siege weapons aren't firing? Yeah, we're actually far enough back that the siege weapons aren't firing. Weirdly, one of the things the cavalry can probably do that will help the most is just distract as many guys as possible. Yeah, driven the civilian siege operators off the siege weapons. That's an archer unit. It's an archer unit. They are shooting at us. And our tight formations are maybe not the best for being the receiving end of enemy arrow fire. Okay, things I think going reasonably well given the circumstances. Order charge on those archers, that might be the wrong move, because we're not going to have long being engaged with them. We're going to have to disengage to not get jumped by the enemy's melees with the cavalry. Escape them, I need to move now. Actually managed to mostly break an enemy unit. One unit down. Just a dozen or so to go, right? Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna close. It looks like this was a... We didn't take massive casualties there. See how that plays out in the post-battle results. Do I keep my army is the question. No, okay. I load the autosave. Now, this would be the autosave from before, which is maybe not what we want. Either way, we're just going to end up doing the battle again, I think is what's going to happen. So I think what happened is we were on top of our own flag there, is what was happening. So they caused a generalized army retreat because they captured the proverbial flag, right? So I need to deploy a little bit farther forward than that. Gonna have to try to stop them from getting our city. Most like we did before, we got them abandoned the siege because we're not going to be doing it early enough. And we get a field battle here. Again, we'll command the field battle. Okay, this time it's a north v south fight because of where we caught them on the world map. That doesn't change much. I think we'll deploy in dense formation this time. A little bit farther in front of our unit, or throne here, battle throne here. And then we'll leave these guys. Once again, we'll do loose formation on the flank. And we start the fight. And we go to try to juke them again, get their artillery again. From a morale standpoint, their artillery is not super important. Because I think we're hanging back far enough the artillery isn't pounding us. Yeah, we're hanging back far enough the artillery isn't getting us. If we weren't, then the artillery getting charged would be more important. Oh, interesting. This time they're trying to hit from, looks like, different flanks. So they tried to envelop the line. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually makes the line collapse. Potentially didn't go wide enough. Oh, and they just went ahead and parked some people on the flag. That's a big problem. catching up with us. Hopefully we get the rest of the siege weapons to break off the siege weapons, and I can take a run off into the distance. Yeah, I think we've done that. Alright, yeah, they got a big batch on the throne. If we don't break that unit quickly enough, we'll just have another surrender event. Yep, that's what happened. That's a restart. We know we get left with nothing if we hit the close on that instead of in the fight, so that's just not an acceptable result. Okay, we're gonna do a longer... just a longer line, I think. Basically, like they actually go for our units. Once again, cav on the flank. Tight formation would be better for actually fighting. That's what it is. Okay, I think we have enough space so we can go run the catapults down again. This time none of them went running through our throne, so we'll see if we can... units to break. Yeah, we still have the situation of we've got higher trained troops, but we're less equipped and outnumbered. So it comes down to, can we get the training to do the work? We are actually, I think, more outnumbered than we were last time. So, greater probability that the training doesn't work and we actually rout, so we shall see. No one left on that siege weapon. Let's get free, and then we can think about trying to charge exposed archer units. Oh, no, they broke a guy through to... And they actually full-on broke one of our units. Yep, no, we're gonna lose the fight again. There goes another one of our units falling apart. Yeah, it was probably the worst yet. We'll do one more restart, and then we'll just accept the result. Okay, so this time I'm not going to try to run to enemy siege and hope that we can hold out. Whenever it's already broke, that's not a good sign. Nope, they go sit on that, and we lose, and we lost the left flank as well, so no, we're losing this fight. Okay. So the question here is, can I even recruit an army capable of stopping the rampage, proverbially? in time? I suspect the answer is no. That's all the food supplies I have for the moment, so we'll start having those form up while we wait for more food supplies to come in. Region of Stefan has fallen to our enemies. That's not surprising because it didn't have any fortifications. Trying to get some fortification before they arrive. I don't really want to reduce the food supplies, but I think we will. No, the rest home's done. Is that one done? That one is also done. Getting close to the point where I don't need more rest homes, but... let's make sure that none of the food stalls are distributing. Yeah, the food stores aren't distributing rations. The restaurants distribute rations. Yeah, here comes the army. I don't think one garrison is going to be enough to stop them. Although one garrison might be enough to weaken them that that might stop their spread for a bit. Although what I think we will do is I'm looking at the time. It's probably time I put my heartbreak in. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow, which will basically be the results of this war. I suspect we'll either start to bounce back because the army will be so badly mauled, storming our fortifications, or we won't, in which case we'll start sliding into dysfunctionality at this point. Because yeah, I don't think we can expand to necessarily handle a full strength enemy army. Like 5K is too big for us. I don't think we can take that on. So we're reliant on them basically having retreated themselves to nothing at this point. The question is, can we bounce back to the point where we can destroy that army and go on the counteroffensive? The answer, maybe no. That will be decided in tomorrow's video. If you're watching on Twitch, this is where we're going to take the midstream break, where I go get a replacement cup of tea. Because after all the stuff we've been having going on in the last episode, I think I need it. And yeah, we'll see if we can bounce back. If we can't, then that'll probably be an indication that it's time to move on to a new city. The city's been semi-successful. We got it up to 8K, although it isn't there anymore, but we got it to 8K. And yeah, there's definitely more that would have been interesting to try to do with that the city, but I think we'll see if we can win the war, then we'll keep trying to grow the city. If we can't win the war, then, well, we've already kind of undermined the city a little bit by cutting imports of various important ingredients like clay to put up fortifications. If we lose the regions outright, then we can't restore that post-war. And that's probably what's going to end up happening, right? If things really turn against us, they will start to take assets that we can't accept having lost. Yeah, we'll see. So if you're watching on YouTube, that'll be tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, that will be after the cup of tea is brewed. So until the next bit, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.